Hello, my name is Felix. Today I'm going to be doing a Celeste speedrun. Probably the first proper video on the channel other than introductions or checking that everything's working. So you know what Celeste is? Pretty good game. I believe it's top 3 game for speedrunning, so pretty popular. Haven't played the game, highly recommend playing it. I mean, considering I'm doing a speedrun of it, might be a bit biased. But anyway, let's go. At least I named myself Bwahaha. It's a bit of an Easter egg. I'm thinking of something to name myself for a while now, so. And I'm very bad at coming up with names, so why not? So, okay, I'm definitely not getting what. Okay, yeah. It's less than a while, so it might be a bit rusty on the controls. So here I've got the introduction sequence. It begins about climbing a mountain, and 7 stages. Final one being, well, technically, there are a few more stages. That's the introduction and some spoilers that I don't want to mention, but like I say, it's about climbing a mountain, and you are, oh yeah, it's not really much more to say. That's really all the plot is, but well, there's more to the plot, of course, but general gist of I'm very not doing well today. I'll just climb the mountain. So this is the first real stage, Forsaken City. Oh, what am I meant to wear? This is introduction. Well, this is an introduction, really. To the game, and yeah, it's basically introducing most of the main mechanics you'll see, such as obviously ground spikes, strawberries, and it also is quite good at teaching you how the basic movement works in this game. It also introduces these. Oh, I'm trying to save that. There. So it introduces the traffic light blocks, which you rarely actually see in the game, but they're very good at introducing you to momentum, which is used quite a lot throughout the game. Lots of jumps involve momentum. I mean, it's rarely used in order to actually beat levels, but often used for collectibles and Easter eggs. That's a really, really bad Forsaken City. Probably optimal time would be like 1 minute. Oops, so that was really not that good. 5 okay, well, like I say, I haven't played the game in a while, so probably be quite rusty. So. Anyway, 80% run, so we're just trying to beat the game as fast as possible. If you don't know anything about speedrunning, which possibly you don't, I don't know who you are. I know who most of you are, to be honest. It's a very good game for speedrunning because it's very forgiving. Make lots of mistakes and The game doesn't punish you very much, if at all, and you can often save most mistakes, especially in the early stages. I mean, obviously most games are like that, but it's less punishing the difficult. Like, if you can beat even a second stage deathless, that's pretty impressive. Obviously, it's not the best by any means if you do it, but even the third stage is like notoriously difficult. How to save 2/3 in speedrunning. We're doing a trick that saves you pretty much no time whatsoever, but it's speedrunning. Who cares about the speed? The swag is all that matters. Okay, we'll get this. Look at how much it's better. Perhaps I could just... one more time to get, okay. Fine. We'll do it the boring way. Of course, makes the run less valid. But as long as we get door skip in chapter 7, we're okay. Ultimate swag, saves a couple of seconds, perhaps, maybe. Not sure how much time it saves, probably a few, maybe milliseconds. I don't know how to do that, but I always try it. Like, I used to be able to get it really consistently, and now I'm just rubbish at it. And apparently I'm rubbish at basic movement. Not basic movement. And I just can't even beat one of the simplest stages in the game, apparently. So that's good to know. Okay. Probably got a bit more practicing before actually doing the speedrun, but never mind. I'm not going to do a world record on this one. Just as a bit of info, the world record is the world record is 27 minutes and 10 seconds at time of recording. Okay, I'm really not doing well here. Oh, I'm doing horribly. Oh my goodness, this is not good. World record 27 minutes 10 seconds at time of recording. Anything below an hour is pretty impressive for like beginners. Most speed games, you know, it's very, very minor improvements, but with top runners and Celeste, it's like, how do you even do that well? I didn't think I was doing that badly, and suddenly you just like half my time. And then, yeah. It's really not very optimised, although it has lots of runners. The movement that you can do in Celeste is absolutely insane as well. Like, if you've played Celeste and you're not, you know, not gone too far, this probably seems really fast to you. To top speedrunners, that's like the slowest possible movement. Like beginners, like real beginners, probably be walking. People who've got a bit, you know, start dashing and go a bit faster. Then you've got like hyper dasher, or you've got dash cancels, hyper dashes, extended hyper dashes, extended like wave dashes, and it just becomes insane. So this is probably one of the first big difficulty spikes in Celeste. Celestial Resort, here you meet Mr. Oshiro, and no one likes Mr. Oshiro, really. It's like there's an entire subreddit to Oshiro hate. So yeah, not much to talk about here. Really just platforming. We've got these moving dust buddies, and also no one likes these either. Okay, they're pretty much the exact same as regular spikes, except some of them are moving, but for some reason everyone hates them. I guess it's just mainly good positioning, particularly in contrast to the other levels, like levels 1 and 2. Just the first levels, which are extremely easy compared to chapter 3. After that, you've got chapter 4, which is also extremely easy compared to chapter 3. And then after that you got chapter 5, which is quite maze-like, but is still fairly easy, I said. Not easy, but... And by that point you've also got the practice from chapter 4 and from chapter 3 as well. So like, it just feels a lot easier. Like I say, because you've just like, currently you've only got You've only played like a couple of chapters, so you know. Chapter 3 is also a lot longer, so we're going to have more deaths naturally if something's longer than if it's not. That nearly failed. If I miss the key there... Wait, what? Why am I back here? Okay. This is probably the first real story-based chapter. The other two chapters really have like no story at all. I guess chapter 2 has a bit of story at the end. This chapter 2 is kind of like foreshadowing. Although it still doesn't really teach you much, although like once you beat the game, then you know the story. You can really see how important chapter 2 was, but when you're playing it, that doesn't really seem very big importance. It's definitely a school level, but ooh, that's like a really smooth beginning sequence. This section is called Huge Mess. I'm trying to help Bashir clean up his hotel. As you can probably guess from the name, it's a huge mess. Probably one of the most interesting sections. You've got books, shelves, you've got books, towels and boxes, each of which you need to clear. They all have individual kind of areas you need to go to in order to clear them. For example, there I just cleared the boxes. Now I believe I'm going on to towels, I think, although I always take the wrong path there. The cool thing is, when you clear any of those 3 items, they will actually disappear in the levels, so you have slightly different like playing experience from someone else who played it in a different order. So, it's quite cool. Yeah, I think this is right part. Bottom, top, middle. So, we'll finish off. I always forget that's there because it starts off just blending in with the other. I always fail this room. It's not even a hard room. It's somewhat hard, I suppose, but it's not that bad. Okay, wait, can both be the bottom, that makes sense. There we go. Okay then, you've got to wait for 2 things to line up, but like both at different kind of timing. What? I can dash. I've forgotten about this. I noticed the flying strawberry, my brain was just like, don't dash. Okay, I always do that. That's generally pretty forgiving, since probably is like all the mechanics, like you should totally die but you somehow don't. But often, well, the screens typically, usually only 1 screen long, and they're generally pretty short. So if you die, you barely get set back that much. But there are some like pretty long screens. Very few, but there are definitely a fair share of them. And I'm in that situation. 1 death is a real big setback, especially in speedrunning. here. I like to give the demo dash a few attempts. One of the coming up rooms, there is a very interesting mechanic called a demo dash. Not intentional. At least original when upload release the game. Whether in some DLC there are literally rooms that you can only access by doing demo dashes, and it's spoiler warning by the way, so I'll go later chapters, but it's a room, a bit of an Easter egg, that okay, I'm not doing that. I always forget to do this, okay. So you have to demo dash in order to get through to it. And in that room there are 2 required demo dashes. Demo dashes are usually pixel perfect to that room and in some other rooms, although they are, but usually they are. What they do is when you dash, you have like a normal size hitbox, like an average usual height. But when you dash down, the game like takes you crouching, so you have like a crouching hitbox. Usually it doesn't change anything, to only change your hitbox vertically. However, if you dash downwards, you have a crouching hitbox. The game takes a while to actually register your directions, so it's basically like for leniency. I don't know why I did that. But for leniency, because it's really annoying if like you press dash at like a frame before you change your direction. So like I said, the game's very lenient and things like that. So it lets you live. But if you dash down, you have a downwards hitbox, a crouching hitbox, and then you dash in either left or right. You have a crouching hitbox and you're dashing. And it turns out the distance between spikes happens to be exactly the same as your crouching hitbox. It's usually, like I said, there are a few exceptions, but most of the time it's pixel perfect. So when you do that, so dash into the spike, pixel perfect distance, you can actually dash through the spike. And that's probably one of the biggest skips in the game. Definitely not the most time saved, but one of the most well known ones. But it does save a lot of time, like most skips. You speedrunning in general only tend to save a few frames. Or obviously adding the swag, obviously more important, but anyway, save a few frames. That one there saves 12 seconds roughly. Obviously it depends. If you take a while to set it up, for example, it's going to save less time. It's just very good section after that. This room is not even hard. Obviously for a very good room after that, you're going to lose less time than if you have a shadow, but let's say, on average. About 12 seconds. I believe optimal play is 12 seconds. So, that was the end of chapter 3. Just over 10 minutes. Other things. I want to have a face cam for this, but there's pretty much no good place to have a face cam. You appear at least once in pretty much every corner or part of the screen. Top left, bottom left, top right and bottom right sometimes, so I don't want to put a face cam to block that. I could shrink the actual like screen record view, but yeah, face cam's not that important. And also then you've got extra space at the bottom of the screen if you want to spread it out evenly, because obviously if you if you shrink it horizontally and keep the same vertical height, then it just looks ugly. And also, you can't do that in the software I'm using, so. Yeah, so. I might soon, but, like here, top right. Sometimes I just do a jump, and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I think I should have done a jump before, but I don't do it, and I do a jump to make up for that, despite the fact that it's not even, like, my brain hurts. So like I said, this is chapter 4, Golden Ridge. Probably one of those forgettable chapters. Very easy compared to chapter 3. Especially after chapter 3, everyone's just very excited. Chapter 4. Oh. This is another skip. This is another skip that saves actually an alright amount of time. Though I think it only saves time if you get it first try. But it also adds to the swag of the run, which is obviously, like I say, a lot more important than the actual time. Like, if you have a run which is a few hours faster than some other person's run, but they have a bit more swag, their run is fundamentally better than yours, just because of the swag. Like there, sure, I lost a bunch of time, but it was swag, so. I mean, it wasn't even a hard trick to do, but. And I can't even move blocks. One of the most basic things in the game. Okay, Did I just stop speedrunning this game? Till I actually get good at it? Honestly, even if you, like, really don't like speedrunning, because, like, you don't want to have to put, like, so much practice in or anything like that. Celeste is a great game. Like, I hate speedrunning in general. Like, you know, tons of optimization just to get a minor time save. Often very long games, just like one attempt, make a minor mistake and, you know, the run's over. Celeste is a very good game for speedrunning poorly. Like, it's still very, very fun if you make mistakes, because, like I said, the screen's really short, so it doesn't really matter too much if you make a mistake. Like, beating the game deathless is a challenge very few have done. And it's like, you know, like beating individual levels deathless is hard, let alone the entire game. So, like, top speedruns have deaths in. Like, even Tassa's robots doing the runs have deaths in. Partially because it saves time, but anyway. Like, top runs, I think, you know, often have, like, you know, tens of deaths. But Celeste is a very hard game. And I'm also very bad at playing the game. Apparently. I hate this room because the wind just stops suddenly and then you just get thrown off. What's that? No. Okay. Final area. This one is very annoying. Not only do you have very strong wind pushing against you, you're also introduced to snowballs, and nobody likes snowballs. Nobody. And some people do like them, but they're not good because they're just thrown at your height, and especially when you get very close to the end. It just becomes a situation where it's like, oh, I'm about to make it to the end. You get thrown a snowball in your face right as you're about to get there. Snowballs come like, what was I supposed to do? I could have dashed that, but suddenly going from that really peaceful thing to this, like, really fast, well, not fast paced, so it's pretty slow. I want a lawyer. And a tutor on how to get good at it. What was that? I was jumping up and then a snowball got lodged as I was jumping. Obviously, technically it's my own fault, but it still feels pretty very difficult. Like, you could, you know, time it properly, but that's just not fun. We're almost at the end of chapter 4. Snowballs are over soon. Here. I was laughing at the snowball scare. In real life, people love snowballs, especially when there's no snow around whatsoever. They can start throwing snowballs at people. But Celeste can't throw snowballs because they're literally bigger than you. And there's also literally no snow. So that makes sense. Strawberry. Oh, I connected it. Actually, I beat it in just over 6 minutes. Chapter 3, just over 10 minutes. So you can see the, you know, level of the difference between both. But I feel like chapter 4 is meant to be a bit of a breather after 3. Chapter 5. Oh no. One of my least favourite levels, personally. It's a speedrun, it's not that bad. Not obviously, but speedrun is just not that bad. But casual playthrough, it's very cryptic and kind of unfair in some areas. Like Crystal Heart, one of the main the Crystal Heart, one of the main collectibles in the game. In order to get it, you need to backtrack. Well, I'm not gonna. Basically, you need to go through invisible walls that you have no way of knowing are there, and do something that would otherwise get you killed. Why does that button exist? I always press it, but like, it doesn't do anything, I don't think. Okay. Speedrunning, we do take that path just because it's faster, because you can avoid getting a key, but and you can make up for the time lost dashing into walls. Here, usually you go up, spend about 2 minutes getting a key. No, maybe 2 minutes? No. Another section is 2 minutes. Oh, I always forget the yeet. That's sad. Lose so much time. The yeet strat saves about 9 years. It does save a bit of time, to be fair, but especially in this room, but it's called yeet, you have to do it because it's swag. This area here, you would usually need to have a key, but to these keys, you can just dash upwards through a wall, get another bubble, and that's what you need to do in order to get the crystal heart. Keep in mind there are some levels that are literally locked until you have every crystal heart. So you could look up and I thought they were like take the time it would take for the bubble to actually, the previous bubble it took to get there. Okay. So yeah, I usually go down there. Where am I going? I have not learnt the chapter 5 route whatsoever. So I often go the wrong way sometimes. So here we become a monster and try to kill ourselves for some reason. No backstory on this whatsoever. We're just suddenly seekers. That's what this thing's called. Great. I don't know if that counts as a death. I don't think it counts as a death. Does it? No. That's like the first time in a run I've remembered not to skip that. Okay, wait. So yeah, here we're... There are spikes in this area. I got the vibe is it goes to like switches through a lot of different like themes. Here we're introduced to Seekers again. These are pretty interesting. Pretty awkward to control, but they definitely are controllable. There's a lyric to get a key for you. Usually they're meant to be like enemies, though sometimes you do actually need them in order to break blocks for you and get coins. You know, just need to open doors. It's the only situation in the game actually coins aren't used to open like, locked doors. Usually doors that are locked, the coin symbol on them, but these ones are just regular barrier doors, so that's strange. There, got a door with a symbol on. Okay, this room is very long. Die in it, especially now. It's like you lose a lot of time. We're pretty much just going to skip this entire sub-chapter because we can. Also, the skip is intended somehow because the devs believe in very strange intentional things that seem like complete glitches to people who don't know much about the game. I'm also going to fail at doing something. I'm just going to like... Wait, really? Oh, you got a dash back. Then we're going to be doing extended dash cuts, so when you... When you dash, you can jump afterwards. Well, actually it's a reverse extended dash cancel. When you dash, you can jump afterwards and you retain your momentum for a lot longer than you would usually. So you can get a lot further and a lot faster. A lot shorter amount of time. Here... Yeah. A lot further and a lot shorter amount of time. For some reason, it also works in reverse. Like, you dash, then you jump in the opposite direction. Usually when you dash, you lose your dash until you touch the floor. When you dash sideways and you jump, usually you don't retain the dash. However, it is possible because when you're dashing along the floor, you're on the floor. But, very fast. But it takes a while for you the game to like give you a dash back, so it doesn't just immediately do it, because that'd be a bit unfair. I could just bonk its head. Or not bonk its head. And somehow survive. So yeah, that was the whole of that sub-chapter, even. So now we are introduced to Theo. I really don't like Theo in speedrunning. Just things are really hard to control because they often just move places that you really wouldn't expect them to move, and they're pretty awkward controls in general. Oh, is that bop? Oh, you need to like get it to bop it. How do you? Okay. Stickers can trigger those switches, but it's really awkward to get them to. Anyway. So, close to the end of chapter 5. Like I said, I really don't like chapter 5. It's not a bad chapter. Like, it's very, very interesting story-wise and everything like that, but... But then I feel like it kind of strays from the actual like theme of the like every other Celeste level. As in, like I say, it's very awkward, very hard to find your way. And you're always like, am I on the right track, or is this like a massive long kind of side route that wasn't like the actual like main route or route, as Americans would say, or English people. Often there are words like, is that an American thing, or is it just another thing that people say? Yeah. I hate this route. It's very... I very, very rarely am able to kill that Seeker. So, I think this is the last room, yeah. Something's wrong! That works. I'm getting better at controlling the Seekers though, for sure. Okay. Also getting... Wait, am I just soft locked now? I'm soft locked. I'm Theo trapped behind the gate. I'm not soft locked, I killed myself. But... Wait a minute. He's reacting to my deaths. Does that mean that he knows that I'm dying? Like, is respawning just a thing that you do in this game? Is Celeste secretly Minecraft? Final room. Where we throw Theo into a giant eyeball for some reason. Though I don't know what it's got to do with literally any of like other part of the story whatsoever. But I guess it makes sense because this is video games. Nothing makes sense. Oh. Also, that took less time than Chapter 3 as well, so now you know how bad Chapter 3 is in terms of difficulty. I think the last two chapters are quite fun, in my opinion. At least last Chapter 5. Chapter 5 is just dark, like, you can't see where you're going quite a lot of the time, and it's just really cryptic and awkward to find your way around. Especially in terms of collectibles. With speedrunning, it's not too bad, since... yeah, typically you know the path. Unless you're me. But... also you obviously don't have to get all the collectibles, and even in like, you know, categories, even where you do get all collectibles, it's not nearly as bad, since, but once again, you know where all the collectibles are. Can we get late skip? First try late skip, I never get that first try. And I always die there. Again and again. I can't remember the last time I haven't died there. Apart from that attempt, but... really strange. Oh, I think I made this up wrong. Usually these things should be going wah ha ha ha. But they're not. It's sad. I can't remember the name you can name yourself. Something like wah ha ha. Probably with an extra ha or something. Maybe you need to have another case name. That's sad. I'll take it. You should be... I do something hard, I just forget what to do because it's like something to do. Really? It's a bunch of things, like, am I gonna make it, am I not? But it turns out you don't always make it. Wait, I thought it was a ground. I've never fallen down there before. It must have been like the background that my brain thought was ground. It's like the first time this, well no, the last time I've done Chapter 1 for example, but... Chapter 6 bears quite a bit of resemblance to Chapter 1. Like these wahaha things. Basically the same as traffic light blocks, except you choose a direction and they activate when you dash into them. But they are pretty similar every other way, it's just the way you activate them in that direction. It'd be cool if you have like diagonal wahahas. Or Kevin. I don't know what their names are going to be, like first it was Kevin's and Covert Muffins. Let's just call them wahahas. Oh, I get it, so where's Kevin's and the Muffins? Red added position. Covert Muffins voice. You probably have no idea what I'm talking about. Like, unless you play Celeste, but chances are you're just someone who knows me in real life. And somebody who can make that jump. Unlikely. Everything's really strange. And some... But there's some very, very strange things in chapter 6. No. Maybe. I'm 30. My head is 30. I don't know how short chapter 6 is. Last subchapter, I guess second last technically speaking. But the last one's just super short for introduction to a second dash. Basically, currently we've been fighting part of us with anxiety, and he's being big in chapter 2 that was chasing us, that was part of you. They're currently trying to chase part of you. Maybe it's just playing a game of it. Tag, cool. First battle I was chasing. Oh, I did it a bit too late. Okay, never mind. I can't get the battle line boost. That's sad. Once again, less swag. Bad. And the less deaths, the better. I think the more swag, the less swag, the better. I can't play the game. I hate it. Very cool concept, although the projectile completion is a bit more lenient. They fire right with the vet. It's like, how is that supposed to bomb work? How is it possible to fire right then? Lasers are great because they actually give you a lot of like warning it's about to shoot like that. Or so red to shoot. Projectiles, it's just like you get shot last minute. You have a bit of it, but generally it's pretty. Yeah. Okay. This is the main thing that separates top runners from lower ones. Like, when I dial it for a section, I got dial it loads of times. Like, I really doubt we'll get through the second chapter after I kill it. I'll probably die a few more times to it. I can try it. I'm doing the exact same thing again. I think I see a mistake, but it turns out it was just strategy or something. You want to just prove to yourself that you can do it that way. This room is weird. It is amazing. Nothing interesting about this room whatsoever, but it's like, to me, probably to no one else. One of the most memorable rooms in the chapter. It's just strange. What's also strange is how I look at her. How I'm still alive here. And how I actually beat that. Ooh. Chapter 7. Yeah! I've actually learned something, so don't immediately go there, because you will die. That works? That doesn't work. It makes sense. How am I supposed to do it? So hold left. How am I supposed to do it? You go left, up or left. What's that? I keep thinking it's gonna go like curve left upwards, but it doesn't. This is the last section. Well, the last section is not fast. Is it? What was the last section? Oh no, it's not. This isn't it. I think it's the one after. Yeah, it's the one after this one. Yeah. No, one after this one? Yeah, one after. This one. Now, block. Usually we don't do like start moving when we hit bad line. Now move on already. Oh guys, really amazing. I think that's the only day you start bad line is block. I think it's a load of spikes. It's like really quite quick company. Even spikes here can't actually kill because they're being blocked by other spikes. Those other things have like rounds there instead of spikes, and only spikes on the very edges. Looks like this stuff is lots of spikes. Yeah. Okay, if you die once, you die over and over again. Oh, I think it's good to be momentum. It's like, I know logically it's not gonna work, like my brain still thinks it's true. Okay, attempt to do it, but sorry? This is the tiny right there. Everything is gonna cut out though, because it's down. This is a much longer video. Is this not good? No. Oh, it is right. Yeah, this is last week. Well, not last week. Last week was that section. It seemed like it wasn't in my control. I thought it was a cutscene. It's a really beautiful like, area after all those tentacles and hey, yeah. And somehow she appears there, even though she's also inside of us. And she's got an extra dash, it's just some new power that she's never had before, even though it's the exact same situation. Okay, there we go. 11 minutes and 25 seconds. That sub-chapter was huge. I mean, when I got there, I was like 5 minutes on the clock. I think it was like 3 minutes or something. So, it's a massive sub-chapter. Anyway. On to final chapter. Main chapter, anyway. In the run. Summit. 40... That's not that bad, actually. I've not really been trying too much. Maybe. Ready for the video, like... Just a bit of context. My PB and extent is 56 minutes and 6 seconds, so about 12 minutes to get a new PB. It's so sad. Like top 10 on speedrun, I've already beaten the game twice by now, pretty much. I forgot to jump away from them, and I forgot to live. This is like one of the easiest rooms in the entire game. There we go. I'm definitely not getting creepy. at this rate. Yeah. No. Game is just Game is cursed me. It's Friday the 13th tomorrow. That must be it. Totally not, but I'm just bad or anything. 100% the fact that tomorrow is a day that some people say is bad, but for some reason, no logical whatsoever. AKA superstition. I'm bad. I could just beaten it normally by now, but the swag. Like I said, time doesn't matter at all. Like, I guess if you do it with the same amount of swag and better time, obviously it would be a bit better. Mainly if you have the same swag, well, it's pretty much even. Like, it's like you order a dish at a restaurant. It's one covered. So you order like a piece of toast. I probably would order that at a restaurant, but say you had a piece of toast. Both made up of the exact same number of particles. 2 pieces of toast. One of them has one more crumb of like crust and then hard bread, and one of them has one more crumb of soft bread. Like, no one really cares whether it's one more crumb of either way, because it's just such a minuscule amount. That's like what it is with time. Like, as long as you have the same amount of swag, it's better. But obviously, say you've got like a bit less, quite a bit less, soft bread. Obviously, the swag can be quite a bit lower. But say you've got mountains and mountains of crust, it could somewhat make up for it. Point is, swag is more important than time. I think this was way closer. Oh no, because I wasn't massive. I was holding up that whole time. I just jumped off of the block, I think, and apparently spawned there. That's a very the wall and the two perpendicular using big words, so very intelligent. That's how it works. Using big words, more than 4 syllables long, not intelligent. Even if I have no idea what the word means. 4 minutes for old site, wow. Don't get that done in like 2 minutes. Okay, I'm definitely not. You do this way. Oh my goodness. Oh no, it's not old site. You have to. Get older, you have to station 60. Something that was usually. Also, it's a bit boring. But I guess that's alright. It's definitely not great, but it's alright. No. It's not even hard work. It is hard work. I know how to do it. Game, no one asked for your opinion. No one asked for your opinion, no. Why can't you give me the world record and everyone's happy? Apart from the previous world record holders. That's funny, apparently. Like here, I died once to a pretty easy section, and I'm dying over and over again to the same section just because I'm fed up of playing the same section over and over again. I'm gonna psychologically makes me not want to play it again. Then the bad lose. It's so bad. And usually if a bad finish could be bad win. Like if the game's 100% luck based, for example. I'm just going on rants about random stuff now, honestly. So what about Summit? Summit, you have 2 dashes, and basically you're going back through the stages of the previous level, part of you, knocked you down a cliff. I mean the word was which I'm not going to spoil. She's the worst. So she knocked me down the cliff, but now we're climbing back up, and apparently, where's my? Oh, I dashed up. Okay, easy section. I failing once. I fail it over and over and over again. Particularly short sections that happen because you've got to go for it again and again and again. It's a really, really hard strat that I'm never gonna get. Like, just compared to my time where I just don't go for the hard strat to begin with. It's just absolutely terrible. Just because I went for the hard strat, not the safe strat. And sometimes it's better to go for the hard strat, it's actually good. But second straw, also legally, not legally, but like it's generally considered like pretty, like etiquette. Keep the strawberries. Oh, okay, well, death means I don't keep strawberries. I just didn't collect it. Oh, I only have 1 strawberry now. That's sad. Often, when you collect strawberries and things, I just want to keep. I had a dash! But I forgot, because I was so focused on getting to the next platform. I didn't realise. But, oh, I thought I grabbed it. Okay, that makes sense. Probably just stronger than it was. Or like mental sanity was stronger than it was. So, can I say I have mental sanity? Or any sanity whatsoever? Look, we're gonna do the ultimate swag skip here. Actually, we could have skipped a bit more. We just skipped it. Still pretty ultimate swag skip. It's not even that hard, but I might fail it because I said that. There we go. There's like another weird strat that like pop runs use. That's like insanely hard, but you can just do that. It's like really, really, really easy. And it saves quite a bit of time. Not much time though, compared to most time saves in games. It saves a lot of time. Yay! We're going to be doing another demo, or demo dash. I'll try to reset that. Like I say, you can dash with spikes, but if you push your hip spikes, you can just dash in really small places, such as one block like that. Also, height for the door skip coming up soon. Oi! Wait a minute, save the height stuff. Make the actual door skip before we start getting going. How is that even? Spike hitboxes are like one of the only things in the game that really aren't lenient whatsoever. Like most things in Celeste are extremely lenient. But in spike hitboxes are just absolutely ginormous. Even at the most minor. Like, you feel like somewhat close to them, you die. I'm not sure if it's just, you can skip going down here, but I'm bad at the skip. I don't know how to do it. There are some skips that you can do, but I'm bad at them. That way I don't even know how to do it. I can see what you do, but like, I'm not sure if I'm just failing it or if I'm just bad. It can't be that I'm bad, right? I mean, bad at the game. We can get lucky after it. It's like, I'm not sure like all the intricacies, like when exactly do you dash whatever. Door skip? Hi! Okay, I need to get to the door first before I can do the skip. This saves 9 years and it verifies the runs. So, very important right here. Oh, we keep dashing to the left. The game thinks so. The game like, it's actually with David dashes you can like press down then. I will get this door skip. I always fail door skip first try. Like I get it first try. That works. I get the first door first try, though, like, always fail the second door. And then, like, I'd fail the first door over and over again. I didn't even realise that I used blended in with the colour of spikes. After this, you've got a very final section of Summit before the end of the game. Also, I believe... Yeah, I'm definitely not getting it. Like, I think it's probably impossible. Maybe possible, but, like, I'm not very good at the game. It's not bad, but... Not bad. I have like what 4 minutes to beat to get PB. I've already lost PB, but in order to get sub 1 hour, I say sub 1 hour is like a pretty reasonable time. Okay. I mean, like I said, it's possible if I get completed death, for example, maybe. But still very... What was that? Maybe back in. So that spike sticks out more than those spikes. It's not just hit like, look at the spikes there. There are some strange things you do. Like you can jump off of spikes if the wind pushes you into them. The way the game works out spikes is you only die if you're moving in the direction of the spike. Like if you come at spikes from the bottom, like you sometimes can with like one-way walls, and you're meant to be able to not actually proceed to some area. You have to go through all this. So therefore it will only actually kill you if you're moving towards them. But if the wind pushes you into them, it works out like your momentum is away from the spikes because it calculates the wind separately. And then it works out, so you're touching the spike, but since your momentum's technically away from it, you still live, so yeah, strange. So it's not very practical as a speedrun. It can be done. I think it's safe to frames here and there maybe, but it also loses a lot of frames because you die. And I also die there to a really, really easy jump. But just trying to... What was that? Could I have even gone any higher? Yeah. Like here. Not even a hard checkpoint, it's just so long, so therefore because it's long I'm most likely going to die on it. And when I die on it, then it just spirals into an endless loop of death. And me saying this and me completing it. It always happens, I always save that moment I was win. Not win, but die apparently. Who put those spikes directly above the 13 checkpoint? They must have been. I pressed the up arrow. called speedrun. Yeah, go fast. I guess that's a pretty major skill. Okay. No, this checkpoint is so long. Here. Very interesting though. You can jump over the spike. Yes, I get the checkpoint. Don't jump there. I can't, so it's useful to get the checkpoint. And possibly the reason I died is because I knew I was safe, so I was trying to live it quick. Yeah. First try checkpoint 9. That's actually surprisingly good. Definitely. Oh. Possible to just fly in the wall there without. I've never got a lot of where they are. What's that? Okay, that looks. Okay. You actually need to grab fire, but even if you die, you still keep the checkpoint. Of course, that's the one time I don't die. I think we'll have to checkpoint for a while. Definitely not getting someone out of it. That was the right one. That's the weird, because they have a slight delay before you can actually start moving. It always throws me off. So I'm going to start moving. This is the hard part though. The dash is always the worst part. I like jump. Dashes. Like pull away from the ball and then press dash. So in order to dash you have to hold the direction or dash. But in order to hold the direction you can let go of the ball just a tiny bit. So that was Celeste, speedrun, any percent. Last checkpoint, pretty much no realistic way to die here. There are a bunch of spikes but not like hard to dodge or anything, especially with 2 dashes. So that was Celeste. Thanks for watching. And I won't see you. I might see you. If I know you. Or if I happen to be walking past you. But anyway, that was Celeste. Timed again. So I highly recommend playing the game yourself if you haven't already. One strawberry and a pie. That's a lot of berry. Are we at 2 minutes? Oh, that's actually not as bad as I thought. Okay. Well, okay. Wasn't bad. So, thanks for watching. Goodbye.